Now, I want to talk about marketing. Marketing is actually something you could spend, you know, weeks on, let alone years or, whatever. So what I'm going to try to do is condense what I do with my marketing into a couple of little bite-sized elements. Um, as you can see right here, I have just this white box that I'm going to use as kind of a chalkboard, but it's kind of small, so I'm going to make it larger. The easiest way, just to make it kind of, I want to make it more this size, okay, so we can have more space. So what I did was I went over to this tool, which is the crop tool, okay. I clicked on that, and then you see these little lines and things. You can just grab this and pull it over and just make it whatever size you want. Okay, drag that up. There you go. Make this a little bit bigger. And to get out of that, I usually just click on the select tool. Okay, it'll ask you, do you want to crop the image? And yes, I'll say crop. Okay, now I'm going to hit the space bar and get our little hand and move this over. Let me hit F, move this over here. Okay, and what's the problem? Now our little white area here is not the full background. If you just want to make a whole solid background, the easiest thing to do is go down to this guy and just do solid color, white. Okay, and now we have that. All right, you don't need an alpha channel. You can just delete the alpha channel, delete that, and there we go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is marketing, just kind of an overview. All right, what we want to create is what's called a funnel. And a funnel is a way to take all of these different elements. Let's say, for example, you've got a Facebook account. You've got let's make these vectors just so it's easier to work with. Let's say you've got all of these different elements, a Facebook account, okay? Twitter, Instagram, a YouTube page. You've got an article that you wrote for some well-known magazine. You've got YouTube videos. You've got this. You've got that. You've got all these different things online that are in the industry that you work in. You know, let's say that you make ebooks. You design covers for ebooks. So all these different places online, you have, things that have a link to your website. So your goal is to create, I'm going to try to draw this out. I'm going to do a square and then another square. This is probably not going to look all that great. And then I'm going to hit Control T. Let's see. Now I'm hitting Shift, Control, and Alt to do this shape. Okay. Shift, Control, and Alt. There we go. Actually, I'm just going to delete this guy and make this one bigger. Let's try that. Stretch that out if you can do it. Hey, look at that. Oops. Let's see, Control T, drag it out. And this is going to be our funnel. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control E and bring those two together. And now what you want to do is get all of these people to your website. There we go. This is your web site right here. Hit Control T, make this smaller. And actually, you don't just want them to go to your website. You want them to go to a certain page on your website called, well, I hate this word, but this is what most people call it, a squeeze page. Okay, now what is a squeeze page? A squeeze page is a page that has an option for you to put your email, okay? So you take all these different elements and you have, let's say a Facebook page, or let's say an article you have in a magazine or something. Or actually, the best example is YouTube, okay? And we'll talk about that in a second. You are going to want to have a link on your YouTube page that goes to this squeeze page. And what is on a squeeze page? All right. A squeeze page all right, I'm writing white on white. That probably is not going to work too well. A squeeze page, let me open up the panel. This is showing me that I've got 22 space between. So now I'm going to put auto. So this will just do auto. Okay, there we go. This is just the line spacing, and you usually want to have this in auto. You usually want to have, I've just made a mess down here. Okay, let's put 72 just for space. It can also be called a landing page. And what do you have on the landing page? You have the option to leave your email. Now, why is this so important? Now, I just mentioned that on Facebook, whenever you have followers, or on Twitter or whatever, yeah, okay, it's possible that if you put a message or whatever, you might get maybe 10% of them. But when you create an email list, that means that people have given you permission basically to, I hate to say to market to them, but to be in touch with them. And one of the most important things that you can do as a business or as a freelancer or whatever is to be in touch with people and have a direct link with everybody. And still, even though email is, maybe not as new as some of these other technologies, email is still the best way to make a connection with somebody. And that's why if you go to virtually any business website or blog or whatever, there's always going to be an option for, joining a newsletter. Why do they have that? Because they want to have your email address. They want to be able to stay in touch with you. Okay? So the question becomes, people generally have a little bit of resistance. They don't want to join newsletters. They don't want to, get a bunch of spam in the mail. So how do you get the email address? Well, some people, sometimes your newsletter is going to be enough, but usually it's not really going to be enough to get a whole lot of people to give their email address. So what I do is you have to offer something in exchange for the email. Now, what do you have that you can offer? Let's make this smaller. What do you have that you can offer a potential client in order for them to send your email? Now, what I have, if you go to indiefilmacademy.com, which is one of the other services that I offer, I created an ebook, and the ebook is full of information that is relevant to the people that would be coming to that page. So, the first one is create, and this does it. You can do this in one day. You can say, if you sign up, you will get a free ebook. And that's something that you see all over the place. Okay, if you check out a lot of these sites, as you're signing up, they'll say, give us your email and we'll send you a free ebook. Okay. Another thing that you can offer is exclusive access. Some information that's not on the general site. You can have the ability to join the forum. If you have a forum on your website, then you can say, oh, well, you have to sign up and put your email address, and then you can join the forum. So there you go. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do this, but the main thing that you need to start working on is building that email list, getting people to come to your website. There should be a link on your homepage. There should be links on every subpage, like on the right column, wherever. But you absolutely, the key thing that you want to do is to get people to join your mailing list. Now, the next question you might have, and I assume that you have, is, let's see, sorry, how do I create a mailing list? Okay, that's not the best question. Let's see. What software? What software to create? Right now, there are really two main ways to main online providers that will allow you to make a mailing list. The first one, and the one that I use, and I'm not an affiliate or anything. I'm just going to show you what I use. Okay, I use a program called MailChimp, and the reason why I chose MailChimp is because it's free for the first 2,000 email subscribers. And I don't have 2,000 subscribers to, I'm getting there, but right now I don't have that many, so it's been free. There's another one called, I think it's called Aweber, and they're also good, and a lot of people use those guys. As far as I know, Aweber's not free, MailChimp is free, so I use that. Also, MailChimp allows you to have plugins with WordPress, and we'll talk about WordPress and creating a website in just a second, but you're absolutely going to want to have one of these two, and you're going to it's going to give you the ability to start creating these lists, and you can do as many lists, as far as I know, as many lists as you want, but you're only going to need a few. And you can do promotions where you say, okay, I'm going to offer you this service, and all you have to do is send me your email, and we'll mail you the information, or we'll mail you a link, or whatever. And that's what I do with my ebook. When people sign up for IndieFilmAcademy.com, they get a link in their email that says, okay, now you can download the ebook. And the ebook has value. It's not a gigantic book, but it has a lot of good information. So find something that you can offer people to get their email address. And once you start, a lot of these companies pride themselves on their gigantic mailing list. Okay, mailing lists are absolutely important. It's one of those things that a lot of people don't notice, or they don't really think about when they're creating their website. Okay, but go ahead and go today to MailChimp.com or Aweber if you prefer, and get an account. It's free. It's 100% free. So there's no reason not to do it. And then once we start talking about building a WordPress website, which is also extremely easy, then you can link that up, create a link with that, and start creating a funnel. And once you create that funnel, then you'll start having people automatically signing up. You'll create kind of an automated system where people are finding you online, wanting your service, going to your website, leaving their email, and then you can start contacting people. If you have offers, if you have deals, if you have a product, whatever you have, you can contact those people directly. So that's going to do it for this class, and then we'll go to creating your website on the next class. Thanks.